Hello and welcome to the Front to Back podcast, a program about music appreciation. I'm your host, Jackson Wisdorf, and each week I will be picking an album from my personal record collection, and you guessed it, playing it from the first track all the way to the last track, while throwing in some commentary about the album's history and a few other little factoids here and there. A new album each week is the goal, with the genre and attitude of each album changing from week to week. Nothing is off the table, so let's get it started. The Front to Back podcast starts now. Hello, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Front to Back podcast. Jackson here, episode number 5. Last week, we looked at Captain Beefheart and his Magic Band's debut 1967 album, Safe as Milk, a little avant-garde blues album. And with this week, as with the last couple weeks, completely different direction. It's the 5th episode, so I thought I would really throw in something out of left field, doing the first hip-hop album of the show, starting it off with a bang. I'm talking about the 2004 epic collaboration between MF Doom and Madlib, aka Madvillain, with the album Madvillainy. Is Madvillainy the best hip-hop album of all time? Well, that is somewhat of a loaded question. However, it is not far from being accurate in my opinion. Madvillain, the duo consisting of MC MF Doom and producer Madlib, released this monument of an album on March 23rd, 2004, and still to this day, 11 years later, it is being picked up by people who have no idea who Madvillain is and introducing them to a world of underground abstract hip-hop and the likes they have never seen before. The only album to be put out by the duo, fans are still waiting for the elusive Madvillainy 2, which has been slated to be released not too far from now, but people have been saying that for the last 5-6 years. It's almost becoming synonymous to a second coming of Christ. Will it ever come? Who the hell knows? But until the day that it may grace us with its presence, we still have Madvillainy to hold us out. I first heard of Madvillain my senior year of high school, and I have to admit it was not love at first listen. At the time, hip-hop that I listened to was of the how you say turn up variety, party jams, commercial hits you would hear on repeat if you tuned to the local R&B rap radio stations. I was confused by Madvillainy the first time I heard it. I just did not get it. Flash forward 2 years later, me sitting in my room alone, average Wednesday night. Let's just say not in a normal state of mind. I'd been listening to some of MF Doom's solo work and enjoying it at the time, and I was listening to his 5th album, Food, when I remembered the day years prior when Madvillainy was a confusing, hard to listen to abstract album that just didn't click with me. But after a little internet sleuthing, I came to realize Madvillainy was released 8 months prior to Food, an album that I was thoroughly enjoying on a daily basis. So I decided to give this Madvillain collaboration another shot, listen to it front to back. Bingo, there it was, my new favorite hip-hop album. I still listen to it on a regular basis and received it on vinyl a little less than a year ago. The fact that it graces my collection with its presence gives me a good, warm feeling inside. Talib Kweli, Brooklyn-based MC and founding member of what I consider one of the best East Coast hip-hop supergroups, Black Star, had this to say about Madvillainy, quote, "The Madvillain album is just about as close to perfect as you're gonna get with a hip-hop album. You've got Madlib at the top of his game. You've got Doom at the top of his game. It's one of the purest hip-hop albums you're gonna hear because Doom focused so heavily on the rhyme scheme, Madlib focused so heavily on what he was doing with the samples. It's just super pure, unfiltered, raw focus," end quote. If you, the listener, have never listened to Madvillainy, this week's episode is your chance. You may love it, you may hate it, you may not understand it, something may click, who knows. As with last week's episode, which featured Captain Beefheart, this album is not for everyone, but the fact of giving it a try is a great feeling. Is it the power and slickness of Doom's complex vocal delivery, or the fine-tuned production skills of Madlib, who gathers samples from big band jazz to classic TV episodes? So back to the question I presented at the beginning. Is Madvillainy the best hip-hop album of all time? Some out there would say no, and some would answer with a resounding yes, but I challenge you to make your own decision after listening. So like with every episode of the podcast, going to be playing it each side breaks in between, a little commentary, a little history about the album. This is a double LP, so pretty much what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be playing an entire side before going in to the break, because I don't want to split it up. So we're going to have sides A, B, C, and D all laid out. You're going to hear all of them in their completion from front to back, like always. And I also found the samples that were used on the album, so I'm going to be saying some of those. They're really interesting. You'd probably be surprised on some of them. But without further ado, I think it's time to start off the album. Start at the front like we do every single week. So we're going to have side A. Going to have the illest villains to start off. Accordion, Meat Grinder, Bistro, and Raid. And that'll take us to side B. And this is probably my favorite side of the album. It starts off so strong. You have samples from Sun Ra. You have samples from the movie trailer of The Ghost of Frankenstein from 1942. A sample from Frank Zappa, Bill Evans, George Clinton. The list goes on and on. We'll talk about Madlib's production style a little bit later in the show, but let's get it started. Side A of 2004's Madvillainy by Madvillain, MF Doom and Madlib. I feel like I just said mad a whole bunch of times in that. I swear I'm not going mad. It's time to kick it off. Illest Villains. I'll be back in 5 tracks, but I'm not going to interfere too much with this episode because this is such a good, solid piece of music. Side A of Madvillainy. Here we go. It's starting now.
As luck would have it, one of America's 2 most powerful villains of the next decade
is turned loose to strike terror into the hearts of men. To shock women into uncontrolled hysteria.
Don't touch that!
The villains themselves were ultimately responsible for much of the popularity. Audiences loved to hate. The importance of the villain was not overlooked. Of course, one of the worst of all was the Madvillain. They had no code of ethics.
What's the matter? I was only trying to...
Get to work on these boys. Anybody bring a gun for me?
Yeah, here's one.
It's not 1, but 2.
Typical villain releases included...
I know they're going to kiss me, but don't let anyone see me like that. Please, Doctor, help me!
And a sequel.
Master of all.
Both the villains were to meet in...
Your mother was the lightning.
2 historical figures, outlaws and desperados at that, the villainous pair of really nice boys who just happened to be on the wrong side of the law. 360 degrees, and similar sequences could not be defeated. Villains who possess supernatural abilities, villains who were the personification of carnage. Madvillain, more accurately, the dark side of our beings. Perhaps it is due to this seminal connection that audiences can relate their experience in life with the villains and their dastardly doings.
Living off borrowed time, the clock tick faster. That'll be the hour they knock the slick blaster. Dick Dastardly and Muttley with sick laughter. A gunfight and they come to cut the mix master. ICE Cole, nice to be old. Y2G Steve twice to threefold. He sold scrolls, lo and behold. Know who's the illest ever, like the greatest story told. Keep your glory, gold and glitter. For half of his niggas to take him out the picture. The other half is rich and it don't mean shit to villain. A mixture between both with a twist of liquor. Chasing with more beer. Tasting like truth for dear. When he at the mic, it's like the place get like, oh yeah. It's like they know what's about to happen. Just keep your eye out like I capping. Is he still a fly guy clapping if nobody ain't hear it? And can they testify from in the spirit? and living the true gods. Giving y'all nothing but the lick like two broads. Got more lyrics than the church got ooh lords. And they hold the mic in your attention like two swords. Either that, or either one with two blades on it. Hey you, don't touch the mic like it's AIDS on it. Yeah, it's like the end to the means. Fuck type of message that sends to the fiends. That's why he bring his own needles and get more cheese than Doritos, Cheetos, or Fritos. Slip like Freudian, your first and last step to playing yourself like accordion. When he at the mic, you don't go next. Leaving pussy cats like why hoes need Kotex. Exercise index won't need Bowflex and won't take the one with no skinny legs like Joe Tex. Dripping off the meat grinder, heat niner, pimpin', strippin', soft, sweet minor. China was a neat sign of trouble with the script digits, double dip, bubble lip, subtlest midget. Borderline schizo, sorta fine tits though, porter wine, order grind, 8:45, let's go. Ever since 10-11, glad she made a brethren. Then his last down, 7 alligator, 7 at the gates of heaven, knocking, no answer, slow dancer, hopeless romancer, dopest flow stanzas, yes, no, villain, metal face to Destro, guess so, still incredible in escrow. Just say ho, I'll test the yayo. Wild West style fest, y'all best to lay low. Hey bro, day glow, set the bet, pay dough before the cheddar get away, best to get Mako. The worst hated god who perpetrated odd favors demonstrated in the perforated rod lavers. In all quad flavors, large savers. Still back in the game like Jack LaLanne. Think you know the name, don't rack your brain. On a fast track to half sane, either in a slow beat or that the speed or at the cane. Laughter, pain, doing songs lit in the booth with the best host. Doing bong hits on the roof in the West Coast. He's at it again, mad at the pen. Glad that we win, a tad fat in a bad hat for men. Grind the cinnamon, Manhattan warmongers. You can find the villain in satin. Gongus, the van screeches. The old man preaches about the gold sand beaches. The cold hand reaches for the old tan Elises. Jeez. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the debut grand opening of Madvillain Bistro, Bed and Breakfast, Bar and Grill, Cafe Lounge on the water, where we offer you the finest of the finer things. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days. How do you do? Live on the beats, we have the one and only Madlib.
How do you do?
We also have King Ghidra on the mix. Yesterday's new quintet is here. Victor Vaughn, Quasimodo, and I'm your host, the super villain. Just lay back and have a good time, enjoy the music, you know what I'm saying? I like to dedicate this next joint to my bands, you know, Big Hookie and Baba from the Laundromat. Bear with me, cause this life is 2-2-1-2. How Doom hold heat and preach non-violence. He about to start the speech, come on, silence. On one starry night, I saw the light. Heard a voice that sounded like Barry White. Said, sure, you're right. Don't let me find out who tried to bite. They better off going to fly a kite in a firefight during tornado time with no coat, then I caught ya. Wrote the book on rhymes, a note from the author with no headshot. He said it's been a while. Got a breadwinner style to get an inner child to finna smile. And that's no exaggeration. The doctor told the patient it's all in your imagination, Negro. What do he know about the buttery flow? He need to cut the ego. Trippin' to date Like the metal fellow, been ripping flows since New York plates was ghetto yellow with broke blue writing. This is too exciting. Folks leave out the show feeling truly enlightened. They say the villain been spitting enough lightning. The rock shock the boogie down to Brighton. Alright then.
Yeah, check, listen up. Yeah, now, how man hold heat like Clint Eastwood's reborn. Leave her with more holes than the dartboard. Haters watch him, Hennessy double shot and drink like the answer to the problems at the bottle's bottom. From the bottom top that homie pay, how you want me? My niggas take no like Kobe. Even with the arms of the hawk, you couldn't hold me from getting mine. Stoves we roll, smoking and getting by. Thanks rap, I ain't got a dime. Got me sneaking out of checkout lines with bottles by the wayside. Smack them in the face, let them taste pride. Fakes try, end up washed up like the shorelines. Do or die, ride how the table turns. Street turns, keep me in this dirt like an earthworm. Woody spit hits and bros where brothers ever learn. Word for word, champ with a nerve, meeting the germ.
Madvillainy was not just created by MF Doom and Madlib. There was a whole team behind the creation of the album, mostly those that were working with Stone's Throw, including Peanut Butter Wolf, who's the executive producer on the album, Egon, the project coordinator, Miranda Jane, project consultant, Dave Cooley with mastering, and along with engineering with Madlib and MF Doom on the final project. Dave Cooley also on the final mixing of the album. Then you can't forget Jeff Jank on the design of the album, and James Raitano on the illustration for the album. The majority of the album had to do with Doom and Madlib. The album was created on two fronts. Obviously, from reading the liner notes and the text on the backside of the album, one can see that Doom was the lyricist and Madlib was the producer. But like I said about the two fronts, they basically never saw each other during the recording process. Madlib would be in the studio or the, quote, bomb shelter, a 50s era emergency shelter with concrete walls 18 inches thick, built in the middle of the Cold War when many thought the nuclear war was imminent. It was a room that Madlib had been doing work in before Madvillainy was even a thought, and he would spend hours upon hours experimenting with new samples and beats, creating projects like Quasimodo and yesterday's new Quintet, projects that would be reflected in Madvillainy. Doom would be picked up at a hotel where he was staying by Jeff Jank. The first stop would normally be a liquor store on the way to the house. Getting inspired from Heineken's and California weed, Doom would set up shop in the back porch, writing for hours to get perfect flows and the perfect lyrics to accompany the experimental things that Madlib would be putting on the table. According to Madlib, one of the only things the two did together was, quote, a lot of chocolate shrooms, end quote. Doom would attest to this in a 2011 interview with the Red Bull Academy, saying, Madlib would give me another CD and I'm writing. We might stop and he'll burn one and listen to the beat, and that's it. We hardly spoke. It was more through telepathy. We spoke through the music. Well, in that last block, we had side A of the album, The Illest Villains, Accordion Meat Grinder, Bistro, and Raid. I love Bistro. Shout out to Big Hookie and Baba. Two cartoon characters which Jeff Jank threw in to MF Doom to throw in into the album to see if he could do it. And he could do it. He threw them right in there. Raid, featuring a George Clinton sample, Bill Evans trio sample, and one of those world music samples, Osmar Melito and Quarteto Forma with America Latina. Came out in 1972. That's not the only strange sample. There's a lot of strange samples used throughout the entirety of Madvillainy. We had some Sun Ra in the Illest Villains. Sun Ra will return in a later song on side C of the album. Movie trailers from Frankenstein, The Ghost of Frankenstein, I Was a Teenage Werewolf. There was a Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention sample with Sleeping in a Jar on Meat Grinder. Also, Lee Howard's and the All-Stars with Hula Rock. I bet you didn't hear the Morton Stevens sample that was included on the Illest Villains from Beach Trip, one of the tracks that was used for the TV show Hawaii Five-0 in the year 1968. Like I said, there's a lot of strange samples coming up throughout the album. And that's one of the things that sets this album apart, is the creativity that was used in the creation of it. It's not your everyday hip-hop samples. Madlib is a crate digger. He will dig through crates for hours and hours trying to find the perfect sample for the songs that he's producing. And that's what makes not just Madvillainy, but all of Madlib's other projects so creative, is the amount of time he puts in to constructing how these songs are made up. It's hard when you're just working on samples alone to put together such masterpieces. But Madlib has found a way to do it. But we're done with side A of the album, and it's time for side B. You'll see a continuation of those deep, heavy lyrics from Doom, that interesting instrumentation that Madlib decided to put onto this album, that he worked so hard to get onto this album. In side B, we're gonna have America's Most Blunted, a song that was released as a single before Madvillainy was released. Sick Fit, Rainbows, Curls, Do Not Fire, and Money Folder, another song which was released along with America's Most Blunted as a single before the album was released. So let's get back into it. It's time for side B of Madvillainy. It's America's Most Blunted. I'll catch you guys in 6 tracks this time. Enjoy side B. Here we go.
Them come out to show them. Like open the bruise up and let some of the blues blood come out to show them. Then come out to show them, 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 come out to
Music. Listening to music while stoned is a whole new world. Most parents consider its importance second only to sex, and grasp will change your musical habits for the better.
America's most blunted. Soon as you start sleeping, catching you off guard. We rhythm now, huh?
If you'll all gather close around the phonograph.
America's most blunted.
Quaz, when he really hits star mode, never will he boost loose Phillies with the barcode, or take a whole carload on a wasted trip, or sip white owl lace tip from tip with yip. Some rather baggies, other like they cracks and vows. Catch a tag, roll a bag of swag in a black and mouth. You twist optimal, just the raw leaf part. The list top go, bust before beef start. At the stop and go mart, acting like a spirit host done it. Yeah, yo, Doom nominated for the best role L's, and they wondered how he dealt with stress so well. Wild guess, you could say he stays sedated. Some say booted, some say faded. Someday prayed that he would grow a farm barn full. Recent research show it's not so darn harmful. Sometimes you might need to detox. It can help you with your rhyme flow and your beatbox. Off spike to your surprise, turn a Newport light to a joint right before your eyes. Tear a page out the good book, hear it how you want it.
America's most blunted. I'm the kind of stupid from the station.
Doom, the mad villain killing mad boom. Consume weed and drink brew till we perfume the room. The beat conductor smoke 24/7. Shady.
Even ask my reverend.
Willie knows how the Phillies roll really though.
Spend my last dough. You got the stick to go. I sparked the lot.
But don't with speed, the trees will see. Quasimodo crew.
We get keys. The most blunted on the map.
The one Astro Black in the alley with a hood rat. When you try to react.
Even your pops got smacked.
Even your mom's got cracked. Meanwhile, while my bow got packed.
G. You drop X so you can have good sex.
No, I smoke
Thanks,
dank.
so I can
Roll
roll
me
me
a
a
shade.
shade.
Watch your cigarette. I got the fat sack. All day I hunt
Roll
it.
weed.
America's most blunted.
Bloody, bloody. Yeah, I'm a kind of stupid from the station. Bloody, bloody. Amazing look. Bloody, bloody. America's most bloody. Bloody, bloody, bloody.
Creativity. It's a known fact that grass increases creativity from 8 to 11 times. In fact, everyone finds that they're more creative stoned than straight. So remember...
M-A-R-I-J-U? A-J-U-A-N-A. Marijuana. Marijuana.
This villain was a ruthless, masked conqueror with aspirations to dominate the universe.
Villain get the money like curls. They just trying to get a nut like squirrels in his mad world. Land of milk and honey with the swirls, where reckless naked girls get necklaces of pearls. Compliments of the town jeweler, left back now schooler, trying to sound cooler. On the microphone known as the crown ruler. Never lied to Ma when we said we found the moolah. $500 something laying right there in the street. Now let's try and get something to eat. Then he turned 4 and started flowing to the poor. That's about when he first started going raw. Kept the dro in the drawer. A rhyming klepto who couldn't go up in the store no more. His life is like a folklore legend. Why you're so stiff, you need to smoke more, brethren. Instead of trying to riff with a broke war veteran. Spliff made him swore he saw heaven, he was 7. Yup, you know it. Growing up too fast. Showing up to class with my wet in a flask. He asked the teacher if he leave, will he pass? His girl is home alone, he trying to get the... If you wanna sip, get a paper water fountain glass. How I'm supposed to know where your mouth been last? Hand so fast, he can outspin Flash. Known to smoke a whole mountain of hash to the ash. Boom, bass, leave the room with the stash. Assume it's in a smash, Doom, get the cash.
The villain took on many forms.
Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. After you whose last is doom, he's the worst known. That'll have your boom blown or either thirst bone. Rockets won't burst, clone, just don't curse the grown. On his own microphone, bring it everywhere he go. So he can bring it to you live in stereo. Panic, can't understand it, ban it. The underhanded ran it, planned it, and left him stranded. The best, any who profess will be remanded. Yes sir, request permission to be candid, granted. I don't think we can handle a style so rancid. He flipped it like Madvillain did the old jazz standard. Don't mind me, I wrote this rhyme lightly off of 2 or 3 heinies. And boy was they fine, G. One black, one Spanish, one Chinese. It keeps the woody shiny year round like a pine tree. Don't sign me, I'm about to get a mill without him. Crowd him off the shelf, he's the villain. And what about him? So, and he's a jerk and you don't know him. Mad how he expand work but won't show him. Poor guys, what a sight for old sore 4 eyes. Now hook me with 2 apple pies and a small fries. All rise, so far odd as a ruple. So raw, break it down and make quadruple. It's crucial, you can see it in his pupil. And this time when he get it, he'll waste it on something useful. Like getting juiced off a deuce of cokie. Keep it low key, known to pull a okie dokie. Silly goose, Doom is too jokey. Damn, he could really use a room or a whole key. Egads, he got enough styles to start 3 fads. True that, she bad, I wonder do she come with knee pads? What a call, what a real butterball. Either I get a strike or strike out, gutter ball. Rocket like gear for the 4 with nice inside pockets prepared for the brawl. Yeah, y'all, you could say it's an earful. Beware, do not touch mic, be careful. And just like he said, I could've told you. MF, the holder of a boulder, money folder. Money folder.
muscle-bound karate expert concealed a razor edge which could lop the head off of a marble statue once propelled. With notorious world takeover schemes and the most magnificent gadgets imaginable, villains rapidly grew healthy cash flow. It is explained by a more comedic villain, the bald-headed Doom. This villain rose to incredible new heights of money-making, revenge, and extortion. Such was the magnitude of a typical villain.
This is no answer.
Very well then. Adieu to the death.
And that does it for Side B of Madvillainy, America's Most Blunted, featuring Quasimodo, a character created by Madlib in his time before Madvillainy was written. Also featuring some samples from Fever Tree, 99 1/2 from 1968, The Dramatics, In the Rain, 1971, Steve Reich, Come Out from 1987, Jack Margolis from Creativity in 1971, and Disneyland Records and Walt Disney Records studio groups acting out the ABCs in 1962. The part, If You'll All Gather Close Around the Phonograph, that's it right there, from Walt Disney Records studio group acting out the ABCs. Sick Fit, The Generation Gap, Family Affair, Rainbows featuring William Luce, Stu Phillips, and Marvin Elling from Kelly, 1968. James Brown, Blues and Pants from 1971. Paul Sawtell and Bert Schefter from Psycho Brahim, 1996. Curls, featuring a sample from Waldir Coleman from the Airport Love Theme, 1970. Do Not Fire, Kishore Kumar and Asha Bhosle with Miti Miti Ankion Si Dil Barde, 1976. Yoko Shimomura and Iso Abe, 1991. Michael Jackson's Thriller from 1982. Lata Mangeshkar, Porab Disa de Padesi Aba from 1973. Iso Abe, Shun Nishigaki, and Yuki Iwa from the Super Street Fighter II Turbo sound effects album, 1994. And finally, Money Folder, featuring Boogie Down Productions, South Bronx from 1987, clips from the trailer of The Raven from 1963, and an excerpt from the Bible from John 8:7, Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. The first line from Money Folder. With that, we are completely done with Side B. 6 great tracks to close out Madvillainy. For the first LP being done, it's time for just a short little break before we get going to the second record of the album, a little bit more experimental. You start hearing more of those instrumental tracks that Madlib was working so hard on. But just because there's more doesn't mean that Doom is lost on the second half of Madvillainy. Still lots of really imaginative flows that happen throughout the entire second half of the album. But to start off the second side of the album is Shadows of Tomorrow, a track that features Quasimodo again, the helium-voiced character of Madlib that would come out after he would consume too many shrooms, as Madlib would say in multiple interviews. I'm getting a lot of these quotes from Our Vinyl Weighs a Ton. It's a great documentary about the record label Stone's Throw Records, which put out Madvillainy, featuring Madlib, interviews from Doom, Peanut Butter Wolf, and from a lot of other artists that have worked with the Stone's Throw label in the past and in the present. So make sure to go give that one a watch. That's Our Vinyl Weighs a Ton. It's available on Netflix too, so you don't have to really pay for it as long as you have a Netflix subscription. It's a very interesting documentary. But let's go ahead and start Side B with Quasimodo, Shadows of Tomorrow. Madvillainy, the second half, starting with Side C, Shadows of Tomorrow. Now, enjoy.
Today is the shadow of tomorrow. Today is the present future of yesterday. Yesterday is the shadow of today. The darkness of the past is yesterday, and the light of the past is yesterday. The days of yesterday are all numbered in some. And the word once, because once upon a time there was a yesterday. Yesterday belongs to the dead, because the dead belongs to the past. The past is yesterday. Today is the preview of tomorrow, but for me, only from a better and happier point point of view. My point of view is the thought of a better try. Reality, yesterday is eternity. The eternity of yesterday is dead. Yesterday is as one. The eternity of one is the eternity of the past. The past is once upon a time. Once upon a time is past. The past is yesterday. Day. The past is yesterday. Day. While we're searching for tomorrow.
The music is different here. The vibrations are different. Not like Planet Rave. Planet Rave's sound of guns, anger, frustration. There was no one to talk to but Planet Rave to understand. We set up a colony here.
The light of the past is the light which was. The wisdom of the past is the light of the past. The light of the future was the light which is to be. The wisdom of the future was the light of the future, see. Yesterday belongs to the dead. Tomorrow belongs to the living. The past is certified as a finished product. Anything which is ended is finished. That which is perfect is finished. The perfect man is no exception to the rule. The perfect man of the past is made according to the rule of the past. The rule of the past is a law of injustice and hypocrisy. The revelation of the meaning of the law is revealed through the law itself. The wisdom of the past is the light of the past. The light which is to be. The wisdom of the future. The light of the future casts the shadows of tomorrow.
Affect their vibrations. For the better, of course.
Sun Ra. Sun Ra.
Lord Quas.
Madlib.
Another place in the universe, up under different stars. That would be where the alter destiny would come in. Equation-wise, the first thing to do is to consider time as officially ended. We work on the other side of time.
Loud, it caught me off guard. I went to breathe out, but then she made me cough hard. Contacted God and let him know to slip to him. Fine, and how are you doing? Can I get you a drink? This one's a shoo-in. Awkward situation that I'm on a mission to ruin. Her big button smile was like camo. Hit up the men's room, we need more ammo. Watch at 3 o'clock, a new recruit. That's her gin and juicy juice. Use this stick of juicy fruit. She just knew she was cute. It's in her own best interest, less stress. Hit her with the do you need a mint test. It don't matter if she's slim or dressed to impress. I won't rest, fellas don't fess. Some of them just need to eat the whole thing of cress. It's been a long day, it's just how the song say.
Operation Lifesaver is in effect as of right now.
I hope she don't take this the wrong way.
Are you with it? Yeah! Okay, let's go. You know what to do. The whole world's watching and counting. And all you people listening out there, everybody, everywhere, hang on, hang on, hang on!
The official adventures of the Magnificent, the Magnificent.
The rest is empty with no brain, but the clever nerd, the best MC with no chain you ever heard. Take it from the Tech 9 holder. They bit, don't know they neck shine from Shinola. Everything that glitter ain't fish scale. Let me think, don't let her faint, get Ishmael. A shot of Jack got her back, it's not an act stack. Forgot about the cackalack, holler back, clack, clack, blocker. Villainy, feel him in your heart, chakra, chart topper. Start shit stopper, be a smart shopper. Shot a cop day around the way, bout the stable. Who to know is too motive, wonder where the shooter go. Bout to jet, get him, not a bet, dead him. Let him spit the venom, said him, got a lot of shit with him. Let the rhythm hit him. It's stronger in the other voice, we makes the joints that make him spread them butter moist, man, please. The stage made of panties. From the age of baby hoochies on to the grannies. Ban me the dough rake. Daddy, the flow make her fatty shake. Patty cake for fake. If he wasn't need a baker's man, he'd take her for her masters. Hit it once and shake her hand. Want some old thank you, ma'am, and ghost her. She can mind the toaster if she signed the poster. A whole host of roller coaster riders, not enough tracks. Hot enough black or just too hot to handle. You got blue sandals, who shot you, who got you, new spots to vandal. Do not stand still, boast your skills close but no krills. Toast for polils, post no bills. Coast to coast, Joe Smoes flows ill. Go chill, not supposed to overdose, no dose pills. Off pride tykes talk wide, do scar me. Off sides like how Worf ride with Starfleet. Told ya, on some get rich shit. As he gets older, he gets colder than a witch tit. This is it, make no mistakes. Where my nigga go? Figaro, Figaro. O's beats in my rhymes attack. A scary act, all black like Miss Mary Mack. Wait till you see him live on the piano. Doom sings soprano like una, dos, piano. My mama told me, blast him, pass for her glass of OE. Not to be troublesome, but I could sure use a quick shot of double rum. No stick of bubble gum. I like ice cream, we could skip the wedding. Have a nice dream, she only let him stick the head in.
Madvillain. Jump on the track with the hardcore hustle. With the busload of niggas, this time we brought y'all muscle. Wild Child's the one to uplift most, and it's confirmed. So tonight, let's bang this Madvillain music till it's adjourned. Who rushes in head first with the full force of a ram? So the source of the verse coerces the course of a jam. Went to hell and back. Saw Delva selling crack. In fact, had to come back with the brother with the mask by yelling black. Power to the people who support raw music. Blessed from the start to keep uplifting progressive art. To come out and uplift words. Take verbalistic leaps to the next splurge. Concoct dope poetical excerpt. Who's the expert? With the physical frame, whose mental was tame to get over in this musical game. When the Madvillain breaks your dome, you'll see your interval depth was written for those that slept. We took 100% unpredictable steps. Say what? Who's the one to rock up a party with the vigilance urge? When smoking the ism, the vision is blurred, but vengeance is heard. And just when you got caught up in the cynical thought, intervals in the shape of a mic get pushed straight to your heart like
Wreak havoc, beat beatings, mad traffic, sleek and lavish, people speak and leak it to the maverick. He see it as just another felony drug arrest. Any day could be the one he picked the wrong thug to test. Slug through the vest, shot in the street for pulling heat on a father who babies gotta eat. And when they get hungry, it ain't shit funny. Paid to interfere with how brother get his money now. Who's the real thugs, killers, and gangsters? Set the revolution, let the things bust, and thank us. When the smoke clear and you can see the sky again, there will be the chopped off heads of Leviathan. My friend, I call them strangers. Anybody talk to them end up in some danger. Can't reform them. They pray 4 times a day, they pray 5. Who ways is strange when it's time to survive. Some will go of their own free will to die. Others take them with you when they blow sky high. What's the difference? All you get is lost children while the bosses sit up behind the desk. It costs billions to blast humans in half into calves and arms. Only one side is allowed to have bombs. It's like making a soldier drop his weapon, shooting him and telling him to get to stepping. Obviously, they came to portion up his fortune. Sounds to me like that old robbery extortion. Same game. You can't reform them.
That Mary was going around with an old flame. That burned me up because I knew he was just feeding her a line. But the guy really spent his money like water. I think he was connected, so I left. Outside it was raining cats and dogs. I was feeling mighty blue. And everything looked black. But I carried on.
Consider Side C as officially ended. Strange ways to close off Side C of Madvillainy, with samples from Gentle Giant, Funny Ways 1970, Symphony in Slang, that Mary was going around with some old flame. Outside it was raining cats and dogs. It's one of my favorite little vocal samples on the album. Hardcore Hustle before Strange Ways, featuring Wild Child, Going Wild on the track. Also a sample from Diana Ross, The Supremes, and The Temptations, Sing a Simple Song, 1969. Figaro before that, featuring 2 samples from Dr. Lonnie Smith, In the Beginning from 1966, and Janine from 1967. Also Doom taking some inspiration from the traditional folk Pat a Cake, Baker's Man, 1698. That was listed under one of the samples. I guess they have to put it in there, but it's listed on there, so I thought I would say it. Operation Lifesaver before Figaro. Featuring a sample from George Duke, Prepare Yourself, 1975. Dave and Ansel Collins, Double Barrel from 1971. Tifton Records, the theme of the Justice League of America, 1966. Schoolie D and PSK, What Does It Mean, 1985. And of course, Shadows of Tomorrow to start off side C, featuring a vocal quote from Sun Ra from the 1974 film Space is the Place. If you want to watch a strange film, that is one to start off with. And R.D. Burmam, Hindu Hoon, Main Na Musalaman Hoon, 1976. I probably pronounced that wrong, but that was side C of Madvillainy. So that only means there's one side remaining until we are all the way through with Madvillainy. One of the most iconic parts of Madvillainy, in my opinion, is the album cover. I always like to talk about the packaging and the album cover here on the podcast. So I found this really cool article. It was posted on egotripland.com, and it was an interview with art director Jeff Jank, who worked with Stone's Throw at the time of Madvillainy's release. Article is called Uncovered, the story behind Madvillain's Madvillainy 2004 with art director Jeff Jank. And it kind of gives a little bit of history and background. I pulled a few cool quotes from it that I thought you would like. So the photos for the album, the photo of Doom's face on the front and of Madlib holding the sampler on the back, were both shot at the Stone's Throw house, which was located, like I said at the beginning of the show, in the Mount Washington Hills of East LA, where the album was being recorded. Doom and Madlib, according to Jank, were very elusive when it came to photos. So it was a score for him to catch them at the same place at the same time. Doom is still very elusive about photos, about interviews. A lot of these interviews that I've pulled quotes from, Doom has refused to talk. There was one on Pitchfork celebrating the 10th anniversary of Madvillainy that Doom refused to comment on. In Our Vinyl Weighs a Ton, the documentary I mentioned in the previous break, there's only previous interview clips of Doom. Couldn't get an actual interview with him. So he's a very elusive guy. Madlib not as much, but Doom definitely. So to get them both at the same place at the same time, kind of a miracle. And here is Jeff Jank's response when they asked why he chose the cover of just the zoom in shot of Doom's face with the orange square in the corner of the album. Quote, I was thinking of the cover for King Crimson's In the Court of the Crimson King when I was working on this photo that I zeroed in on. I used to check out that big red screaming face on the King Crimson album in my dad's vinyl collection when I was a little kid, and it really shook me. I was actually scared looking through his vinyl. I hoped this picture of this guy with a metal mask would do the same to some other 5-year-old somewhere. And then, quote, another thing, just sort of a little inside joke of mine, was that black and white photo of Doom. Reminded me in some way of the first Madonna album cover, just her in black and white. It said Madonna and the O was orange. I saw the two pictures side by side and laughed at it like it was some rap version of Beauty and the Beast. So I put a little piece of orange up in the corner, partly because I needed something distinctive and partly to match the color with Madonna, end quote. So there you go. The album cover taking inspiration from two completely different things. Madonna's self-titled debut album and a album from a English prog rock group, King Crimson. One to scare, one to simplify, and that's how the cover of Madvillainy was created. Well, with that being said, I believe it is time to finish off Madvillainy. We only have one side left. Gonna have Fancy Clown, a track featuring Victor Vaughn, which is an alias brought about by MF Doom on his 2003 album, Vaudeville Villain. Victor Vaughn, described as a young whippersnapper, featuring Stacey Epps, a R&B singer from Atlanta, Georgia, in the track. Supervillain theme, all caps, Great Day, and Rhinestone Cowboy. So 6 more songs, and the album will be complete. Here's Fancy Clown, and I'll catch you guys in 6 tracks to close it off.
Whenever I fall, tell
sister on the phone. Yo, it's Victor. I knew you was in around, playing all innocent, hoeing since the foundation. Don't make me have to pound this 10 crown facing and risk being jammed up like traffic inbound from spacing. There's been a place for you in my heart since we first met. A teenage love that didn't feel no hurt yet. My boys warned me you was poison like BBD first cassette. And still I put my chips on the worst bet. Gave up the skirt, now I got a hair from the street. How dare you drag my name in the dirt and cheat? You could've broke it off, ended it and dipped. And if you spoke soft, we could've still preserved the friendship. Now you apologize, that's what they all say. You wasn't sorry when you sucked them off in the hallway. But have it your way, raw, no foreplay. That's you if you want a dude who wear a mask all day. And just to think, I used to be proud of you, and you had some real good power. Probably kiss me later that evening, I should be early. Matter of fact, give me back my bracelet and my Sherlin. I'd rather waste it, or give it to your girlfriend. She did let me stab it last week while you was working. Remember, our vacation out to Maryland. I duped the maid Carolyn, she made me throw the towel in. Like all foul men, the time I hit your mom's off, I told her knock it off, but she had to set the rocket off. Ain't enough room in this fucking town. When you see Tin Head, tell him be ducking down. I'm not romping around, he better be ready and prepared to be stomped in the ground.
Now, subscriber, we've got to punch you up, so please stand by.
Every day when I look into your
that it's probably somewhat of a travesty having me. Then he told the people you can call me your majesty. Keep your battery charged, you know it won't stick, yo. And it's not his fault you kick slow. Should've let your trick hold, chick hold your sick glow. Plus nobody couldn't do nothing once he let the brick go. And you know I know that's a bunch of snow. The beat is so butter. Peep the slow cutter as he utter the calm flow. Don't talk about my mom, yo. Sometimes he rhyme quick, sometimes he rhyme slow, or vice versa. Whip up a slice of nice verse pie, hit it on the first try. Villain, the worst guy. Spot hot tracks like spot a pair of fat asses. Shots of the scotch from out the square shot glasses. And he won't stop till he got the masses. And show them what they know not through flows of hot molasses. Do it like the robot to headspin to boogaloo. Took a few minutes to convince the average boogaloo. It's ugly, like look at you, it's a damn shame. Just remember all caps when you spell the man name. Like a poet, like baby doll. I bet she tried to say she gave me her all. She played ball. All bets off, the villain got the dice rigged. And they say he accosted the man with the sliced wig. Allegedly, the investigation is still ongoing. In this pesky nation, he got the best con flowing. The pot doubles, now they really got troubles. Madman never go like snot bubbles. Looks like it's going to be a great day today. To get some fresh air like a stray on a straightaway. Hey you, got a light? Nah, a Bud Light. Early in the morning, face crud from like a mud fight. Looky here, it's just the way the cookie tear. Prepare to get hurt and mangled like Kurt Angle, rookie year. The rocket scientist with the pocket wine list. Some even say he might need some psychiatrist. Doom, are you pondering what I'm pondering? Yes, but why would the darn thing be wandering? She's like a foundling, barely worth fondling. My posse's on Broadway like Mama I Want to Sing. Mad lays the bass like the race card. Villain on the case to break shards and leave a face scarred. Groovy dude, not to prove to be rude, but this stuff is like what you might put on movie food. What is jalapenos? Get it like a whooping when you holler at your seniors. Dollar, he can overhear the hashish fiender. He just came from over there, the grass is greener. Last wish, I wish I had 2 more wishes. And I wish they fixed the door to the Matrix's mad glitches. Spit so many verses, sometime my jaw twitches. One thing this party could use is more blues. Put yourself in your own shoes and stay away from all the pairs of busted Timbs he don't use. He only keep them to decorate. If you wanna peep him, select a date and bring a deep check like checkmate. I kid you not, on the dotted line sign. Ever since a minor, kids consider him some kind of Einstein on a diamond mine grind. She was dumb fine, but not quite the type that you might wanna wine and dine. Couldn't find a pen, had to think of a new trick. This one he wrote in cold blood with a toothpick. On second thought it's too thick. His assistant said, Doom, you sick. He said, true through acoustics. Psycho, his flow is drowned in Lowry's seasoning. With micro power, he's sound and right reasoning. It's easy as pie, 3.14. One more, one fall smooth, and they done for.
Great stuff.
Yeah, this is good.
Great stuff. Oh, yeah.
Hold a cold one like he hold an old gun, like he hold a microphone and stole the show for fun, or a foe for ransom. Flows is handsome, O's in tandem, anthem, random, tantrum, phantom of the Grand Ole Opry. Ask the dumb hottie, mask, pump shotty, somebody stop me. Hardly come sloppy on a retarded hard copy. After rockin' parties, he departed in a jalopy. Watch the drop top poppy, known as the grimy, limey, slimy, try me, blimey. Simply smashing in a fashion that's timely. Mad villain dashing in a beat rhyme crime spree. We rock the house like rock and roll. Got more soul than a sock with a hole. set the stage with a goal to have the game locked in a cage, getting shocked with a pole. Overthrow it like throwing over a biscuit. A lot of bitches think he's overly chauvinistic. Let go his dick if that's the case. Rats with a waist, there's more cats to chase. Dogs, he got it like new powers. Woke up broke and spit the shit in a few hours. Sheesh, been unleashed since the Glee Club. Had your fam saying please make me a dub. Well, since you asked kindly, where he been behind the mask, who can't find me? You're blind in the wine zone, leave your mind blown. When he shine with the 9, he's a rhinestone cowboy. Oh, no, enough. Goonie goo goo, loony cuckoo, like Gary Gnu off Newzoo Review. But who knew the mask had a loose screw? Hell could hardly tell, had to tighten it up like the Drells and Archie Bell. It speaks well of the hyperbase, wasn't even tweaked and it leaked into cyberspace. Couldn't wait for the snipes to place, at least a track listing, bold print typeface. Stop for a year, come back with thumbtacks, pop for the beer. We're hip-hop sharecroppers, used to wear flip-flops, now rare gear coppers. He's in it for the quiche, you might as well not ask him for no free shit, capiche? Oh, my aching hands, from raking in grands and breaking in mic stands. Villain, the smile stun your chick, while he put himself in your shoes, run your kicks. You heard it on the radio, tape it, play it in your stereo, your crew will go ape shit. Raw lyrics, he smells them like a hunch, the same intuition that tells him spike the punch. Curses, he's truly the worstest with enough rhymes to spread throughout the boundless universes. Let the beat blast, she told him wear the mask, he said you bet your sweet ass. It's made of fine chrome alloy, find him on the grind, he's the rhinestone cowboy.
Sometimes they were comedic or relentlessly horrifying. They were the foes of society, whether fighting the local sheriff or a secret agent. Frequently, they mirrored our times, the gangster villains which rival real newspaper headlines of the present day. Collectively, they are the components which have fueled nightmares for decades to come. The villains.
Got more soul than a sock with a hole. With that, Rhinestone Cowboy, Madvillainy is now over. Rhinestone Cowboy, and a great way to close off the album, featuring 2 samples from Maria Bethania, Mariana from 1971, and Molombo from 1968. Also some audio from A Child's Garden of Grass, Making Love from 1971, Great Day. Before that, Hand Me a Light, no, a Bud Light, Ready for the World, Love You Down, 1986, and I've It's Red Now, How Can You Believe, a 1968 song using the sample. Just remember, all caps, when you spell the man's name before Great Day, featuring 4 samples, Opening and the City Skyline Pan from Ironside, a film from 1969, Nice and Smooth with Sometimes I Rhyme Slow from 1991, Thunder and Lightning with Bumpin' Bus Stop from 1974, and the I'm Gonna Nail Him segue from The Streets of San Francisco, a film from 1974. The supervillain theme before that with Oterko from 1972, and Just Ice, Cold Getting Dumb, a 1986 song. a track featuring Stacey Epps with The Whispers, So Good, sampled from 1984, and Fancy Clown featuring Victor Vaughn, the young whippersnapper alias of Doom, featuring Philip Proctor and Peter Bergman's Channel 85 Sign On sample from 1973, and a sample from ZZ Hill, That Ain't the Way You Make Love from 1975. Well, that's the album, that's Madvillainy, and that's what I consider to be one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time. People are, to this day, 11 years later, picking up this album and harvesting inspiration from it. Earl Sweatshirt, former member of Odd Future, solo artist, producer, said in an interview with PassionVice.com, quote, Madvillain is basically what Wu-Tang was to 80s babies. A record that ran counterclockwise against the big hooks and pop rap of the era. It revealed the potential for dusty sounds, complex rhythms sprinkled with non sequiturs, and the notion that if it ain't raw, it's worthless, end quote. Blending in so much more than hip-hop, Madvillainy, with its use of samples of jazz, funk, soul, world music, bridges the gap between what hip-hop is and what it can be. It gets to the roots of how hip-hop was established, and it takes in another 30 years in the future. I hope you have enjoyed Madvillainy. If you didn't, don't just drop it and sweep it under the table. My challenge to you is to listen to it again, and I guarantee you'll hear things that you never would have imagined were there in the first playthrough. Like all of the other episodes, I like a little bit of continuity, so I'm gonna end it off with a quote from a review of the album. This one is from the 2004 review from Pitchfork of Madvillainy. It was written by Rolly Pemberton and Nick Sylvester. Quote, Madvillainy is inexhaustibly brilliant, with layer upon layer of carefully considered yet immediate hip-hop forward thinking, but always close to its roots. Madlib and Doom are individually at their most refined here, and together they've created the most exciting blockbuster alliance in the underground to date. Good luck finding a better hip-hop album this year, end quote. So that's Madvillainy. I hope everybody enjoyed it. If you enjoyed the podcast, make sure to like, comment, share it, show your friends, and come back next week. Next Wednesday, I will be going through yet another album for episode 6. Gonna be taking it again in a completely different direction. My system of random selection has landed on the All Laws, the LA-based neo-psychedelia surf rock group, and their second studio album, Worship the Sun. But until then, be good to each other, listen to some music, and I'll see you next week. The Front to Back podcast is now over.